Okay, so I have already opened this, which you got in your bag. It is air dry clay. I don't know which way up and down on this. And you also, to do the first part of this, will need your little wooden stick. It might look a little different than this, but it's just a clay tool. Excuse me, here's my air dry clay. Now, I opened this and then started it and then had to wait because of kids. So I put it in a Ziploc baggie. Where's the Ziploc bag? Until I was ready. So just so you know, in case you do the same thing, open it. This is air dry clay, so if you leave it out, it'll dry. So make sure you zip it up in a Ziploc bag or some kind of container. So what we are going to make today, what I'm going to show you how to make, and it is your choice what you actually make. This is your air dry clay. So if you want to make something different, go for it. If you've never made a pinch pot and just want to have a little pot, then make a little pinch pot. And here's an example. Obviously you don't have the flowers, but you can paint it however you want. Yes. Oh yeah, or Scarlett, you can show them.
There's this little ghost you can make. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, they can see. They can see.
Okay, yeah.
So this is a little ghost that we've made. Of course, this one we had googly eyes, but you can paint those eyes on. Yeah. Or you can make whatever you want. Get as creative as you want. But what I want to show you how to make, since I'm all in the mood for fall, is a pumpkin, a clay pumpkin. So I'm going to pinch a little bit off, and this will be for the stem. So I'm going to save this so I can just set it aside right here.
Can you share that big piece? Because I want to also make a pumpkin.
So Scarlett wants to try to make a pumpkin too. So what I'm gonna do is make 2 small pumpkins with mine. I was gonna try to make one kind of medium-sized pumpkin, but she wants to do it too, so I want to let her. So we are going to try 2 small pumpkins. And if you do that to make a smaller pumpkin, the good thing is you still have air dry clay, so you can make something else too. So after you have a little bit, she has a little bit, I have a little bit. We probably have more than we need. That's fine.
Since we're making smaller pumpkins.
Yeah, just a smaller stem. So I'm just gonna put this to the side.
Which one should I
Why don't we put them in our Ziploc bag just to be safe?
Okay, but which one should I use?
Just to make sure, put that one in. Okay, so hopefully this isn't gonna be too long. So you wanna divide. This is what I'm using for my pumpkin. I'm gonna divide this in half. So Scarlett, divide yours in half.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to be quite equal.
That's okay.
I'll try my best.
It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just do it by feel. It does not have to be perfect. Most pumpkins and gourds are not perfect, so that's a good thing. Okay, then you're gonna make, if you've never made a pinch pot, if you've been in any of my classes, you probably have, but if you haven't, you're just gonna kind of put this in a ball and then use your thumbs and kind of push in the middle and start pinching the sides, as you can see. Every brand of air dry clay is a little bit different, so I've never actually used this brand. It is I think a good brand though, but you'll see they're all just like slightly different. And I think this is actually gonna make a great size pumpkin, so half of it is totally fine. So I'm just doing like a little pinch pot, pinching the sides up, kind of turning it as I do that. And just trying to get that. You don't want to make it too thin. So just try not to make it too thin.
Papa, you want to go watch Wild Kratts?
Scarlett is helping me by also distracting Charlie.
No, Papa, we'll go play with the balloons.
So here is
Let's play with the
my
balloons.
start. I probably could have the my walls a little bit thicker, so I'm a little concerned about how this is gonna turn out, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. So keep your walls probably a little bit thicker than mine. So I'm gonna put this to the side.
You go play with the balloons?
I'm gonna do the same thing with this one.
Come on. Papa, you go play with balloons?
Sorry for the distracting background noise. I'm gonna just keep going.
Come on, let's go.
So yet again, making another pinch pot. So I'm basically making 2 pinch pots. Now, if you need to pause this, if I'm going kind of faster and you need to, that didn't work, let me smush it, make another ball and start totally over, then just pause it. Hey, Scott, will you get a little cup of water just in case we need it?
Of course.
Thank you. So, making my, and what I'm doing here is if I see those cracks, I'm just kind of smoothing them together because I don't want those cracks in there. So I am making another pinch pot. Thank you, Scarlett. All I did is make 2 pinch pots. Okay, so Scarlett's gonna have to catch up on her pinch pots, but you can see what I'm doing with mine.
Can you kind of help me?
And this is gonna be trial and error, guys. Maybe mine won't even.
Can you kind of help me?
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and close mine and then I'll help you, okay?
Okay.
So I have my 2 pinch pots, and what you're going to do is put them together and actually make like a circle. So you're gonna end up doing this. So before you do that,
Mom, can you also just make a ball?
you could. So this is gonna be a hollow pumpkin. It'll dry faster. But yeah, if this is too hard, you probably could just do a ball and let it dry longer. I'm gonna, with my wooden stick, kind of just make some lines at the top of this. And the reason you do this is so that clay has something to grip on and it will stick better. But you can tell I'm not taking too much time to like smooth this out and make it perfect. I'll smooth it at the end if I want.
But why are you making
Then-
lines?
Because the line gives the clay something to adhere to and just them to grab each other. Okay, so I just put them like this.
Mom, can you, maybe if you
And
want
then
to
I'm just gonna start.
Sorry, Mom.
See if I can do this. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, so let me turn it like this. I am using my fingers and gently putting these together. See how I'm smoothing that together?
Mom,
And yes, honey.
put the somewhere over there so now there's no fire.
Yeah. So I'm gently. See if this is gonna work. I usually would do it like this, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, which is what I'm trying to turn it on its side. I don't know if that's gonna work. I might have to do it like this, sorry.
Mom, can we just take away the water?
So I have not used any water on this yet. I haven't needed to. The clay is pretty soft, so I haven't really needed to use any water with it.
I'm gonna go ahead and make my second pumpkin later. So for now, I'm just focusing.
So Scarlett is doing a simpler pumpkin if you want to see how she's doing it. Scarlett, you want to show them what you're doing?
Yeah, so all I'm doing is getting like some clay and like trying to make it into a ball. That's kind of okay if it's not a ball.
Yeah, hers is going to take longer to dry
Yeah, and then
because
like,
it's not hollow. It's going to be
Yeah.
heavier.
yeah, so I'm making a ball and it's not like hers because it's a little bit harder. So yeah.
So I'm trying to...
Hey, those are the stems for the pumpkin. I need stems
Nellie,
for a
we are going to need that.
pumpkin.
Okay, so mine
I
is...
need more.
Mine is not done, but you can tell I am combining it into
That's
one
a
and it is
pumpkin.
hollow on the inside. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my clay stick, and like I said, yours will look different. It might have a little like curved edge, which is actually perfect. That's what I would normally use. I kind of got one of the worst ones just so you can see. You don't need a sharp, don't need a sharp end. I'm gonna use the kind of more blunt end, but whatever you have is fine. And I'm gonna start making the pumpkin
Hey, Mom.
like ridges and dentions.
Wait,
So I'm just gonna
after
start
you're done,
putting
can
those
I
in
kind
there.
of use it?
Of course. You can go get another one too.
And guys, it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, it does not.
Always remember that, okay, guys?
Okay.
And I'm sorry
So
for
I'm
the
not
background
smoothing it
music.
right now. I'm not smoothing it. I'm just starting to put those ridges in the pumpkin. And they don't have to be perfect because as I said at the beginning, gourds and pumpkins are not perfect.
Yeah.
They're all a little misshapen or asymmetric.
I'm sorry for the background noise.
Yeah.
That was all order. Okay. Mom,
Yeah,
when you're done, can I use it?
of course.
And maybe not make it like if you're doing one like hers, don't make it like too deep where it can get inside the hole. So yeah,
So I'm not using the sharp side. I'm using the blunt side.
but I might use the sharp side.
I would just use the blunt side. And then after you kind of have that done, then you can, you don't even have to really use that. You could have just used your fingers, but I'm gonna use my fingers to, and I could have done that little, to smooth it. Hope y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. So now I'm smoothing this with my fingers. Set it down. It's easier if you set it down. I just want y'all to be able to see, which I guess I could take the phone off for a little bit. So with my finger, I'm gonna smooth this and get this pumpkin just how I want it. Just be delicate with it. Now, if I would have used all my clay and not given half of it to Scarlett, which is what I would have done, I probably would have made the walls a little bit thicker because I would have had more clay. Can you hand me that water, Scarlett?
Yeah.
So once you're starting to get that shape that you want, if you need help, you're having trouble smoothing it, don't add tons of water, but you can. I just have a little cup of water here. Dip your finger in water and that will help definitely, you know, re-wet that clay and smooth it. If it's starting to get a little dry and isn't smoothing nicely, you can do that. But you just don't want to use too much water because you don't want to just get that clay to be like super muddy.
Yeah, no, in the art class, they use a lot of too much water.
Sometimes. And some people do really good.
Yeah, but most use a lot of water. That's what I don't like.
Okay, so trying to smooth this. Can I see? I actually might need this.
Okay, how do you like that?
Okay. I actually am kind of thinking maybe it was smoothing better without the water. And do trial and error. And then if you need to dry your finger off because you're like, nope, don't like that, then just dry it off. So you can see, I'll show y'all this side, which I'm been working on. Starting to get this side looking okay. So that's obviously the side of the pumpkin. So I'm gonna try to hurry this up and finish it. Hey Nellie, think this is looking like a pumpkin? Okay, and I'm not gonna worry about getting mine too smooth, but if I have big cracks, I wanna fix that. It's okay.
What?
Hey Nellie, I'll get you some in just a little bit, okay? Just have to finish this. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop there, and I can smooth it more later if I want. But I'm starting to get my pumpkin. If I need to kind of, you know, make it a little taller, reshape it, I can. Now I'm going to add my stem because I want to make sure I have time to show you how to do that. So I'm going to grab one of the little pieces I broke off. Just kind of roll it. It depends on how big you want your stem. Now this is probably going to be way bigger than I really want it, so I'm going to pinch some of that off. And just kind of roll it, flatten part of it. And then I kind of want mine a little twisted. So I might twist it a little bit and curve it. So depending on how you want that to look, you're gonna apply it the same way when we put our pieces together. So you wanna put just a couple grooves in here and a couple grooves in here.
And if you want, instead of doing that, you can put a little water.
Actually, I don't use water, so just put the grooves. You can use water. What I do use water for is after I put that on, if you need to smooth that, because you kind of want to smooth that to it.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Your pumpkin's looking pretty, Mom.
Thank you. So what I'm doing now is with my finger, and you could use your wooden tool if that is easier for you. I am kind of, just like, you know, when I put my two pieces together, I am smoothing, I'm adhering this piece to this piece and kind of just sticking them together. So I'm just kind of working my way around to do that. Once I do that, to build this up a little bit more, and then I want my stem to be a little twisted, so I'm going to twist it, and then excuse me, I'm going to use the sharp side, and I want to put some grooves in there. Oh, here comes the 2-year-old, so we might get real interrupted now. Hey, bud. Okay, I'm making. What am I making? What is it? Okay, and there is my, I'll hold on the side, my pumpkin. Totally imperfect, but a lot of fun. And I could smooth it. It's okay, it's okay. I could smooth it. I'm gonna take this off so I can show y'all. I could, here we are. Hello. I could smooth this as much as I want. Okay, or I could leave it kind of more rough, but you can see I made my little clay pumpkin.
Can you try to get this done?
Yeah, I'm almost done. And then I'm just gonna set it aside somewhere where it won't get messed up by my kiddos. Set it aside somewhere to dry, and then I will be making a second video to paint it. So I'll be uploading the second video too. But this is the first step of a 2-part clay pumpkin process. And now you just let it air dry. Should be dry in 24 hours, unless you do the thick pumpkin like Scarlett, that would take longer.